President Uhuru Kenyatta has continued to do quite a lot of things. Before I introduce my panel, I want to make a footnote of 2 minutes. President Uhuru Kenyatta legacy still continues secured, and it will remain secured. He will be one of the few people that has broken down the Kenyan system of making sure that infrastructure comes back. We have infrastructure to take our goods to markets. We have infrastructure to travel, to transport exports to the nearest markets, to transport commodities that we need to trade as Africans and as the global market. President Uhuru Kenyatta has not missed his words when it comes to changing the lives of the people of Kenya. In Kenya, for example, dispensaries, hospitals, clinics are mushrooming every day, every night. Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta did open another hospital in one of the places where a hospital has never been. It has been a curse, a leprosy, an abomination. In Kibra, you could not hear of a hospital in Kibra. Yesterday, those are the no-go areas that President Uhuru Kenyatta has gone miles and miles ahead to make sure that he brings some services to the people. If you go to Nairobi at the moment, the whole of Nairobi is under construction. Literally speaking, the big roads, the flyovers across the country, several flyovers, several good roads are coming up. It means he's preparing for the legacy, preparing for the future of Kenya. Miriam, that is the topic of the day. Unity and development, infrastructure development is what we want to talk about in these 2 hours. Thank you very much, Miriam. Back to you in the headquarters to bring us the headlines. And before I do that, we have on the panel Professor Gerard Onyari. Thank you very much, sir, for attending and holding the fort every morning. Thank you. Then we have Tawish Samuel Olesesina, our special program. Professor Onyari is a conflict resolution expert, a mediator, a man who knows how bad an election can trigger a crisis in Africa and the world. He has talked about it, he talks about it, he teaches about it. He's my friend, we have been in the trenches together. Welcome, Professor Gerard Onyari. Across is Tawish, our special programs, editor. Tawish knows it, we have been together, we have been around, and we know what it means, the terrain of Kenya. Next is the legacy trained lady, Sharon Gitonga. Sharon Gitonga is a public relations officer, studied public relations, practices public relations, events, organizes events seriously, plans, executes programs. Program management is one of the topics of the universities across the world. Sharon Gitonga, good morning.
Morning to you, Dr. Matsanga, my co-panelist, and Miriam back in the studio, and also to all our viewers watching us across the globe. It is a pleasure to be part of this morning show segment. Thank you.
Thank you. And last of them is none other than Daniel Sean Wesonga, an investigative journalist, a man who punches it all the way and tells you what it means. I want to thank you very much, Wesonga. Good morning.
Yes, a very, very good morning, Dr. Matsanga David. Good morning to Miriam at our headquarters in Nairobi. Good morning to Professor Gerard Onyari, my good brother, Tawish Olesesina, and our viewers in Kenya, Africa, and the rest of the continent. It's my pleasure to be on the conversation today.
Thank you very much. Across back to, I hand it over the baton over to Miriam Okutu, our senior anchor, senior news anchor editor of many programs on this show. Miriam, thank you very much for holding the fort Good morning. Back to you.
All right, Doc, good morning and thank you for that. Now I'll take us through quickly the headlines this morning on the Standard newspaper. The main headline, power at play in surprise cabinet shuffle. Uhuru overhauls leadership at Energy Ministry by moving the CS and PS to other dockets hours after directing full implementation of a report that will cut costs of electricity by 1/3. And then CS Macharia Expressway, 46% complete. That is what we have. And defining moment as KANU makes big declaration, and Kenyans Fuliza up to 1.2 billion a day. And so that is, I don't know if that is something that should worry the government. And we go on the Star newspaper. And the main headline, Uhuru plans to corner OKA chiefs to back Raila. President delegates task to Mount Kenya tycoons, allies after first attempt crashed. And Kenyatta in comfortable lead in Murang'a governor race. The story is on page 8. And the main pictorial is Uhuru's legacy road project set to be completed in April. And then we go to the Daily Nation and the main headline, Uhuru cuts Ruto power in reshuffle. And on the side, ODM fires warning shot at Wanjigi for opening offices, and cheaper electricity at low cost of power to go down by 1/3 in the next 4 months. And COVID 10 million jabs a target elusive, only 12 million doses to be shared by 36 counties. So, Doc, that is what we have on the front pages of the newspapers this morning.
Thank you very much. We go through quickly. Gerard Onyari, you have seen, you have heard. Have we been listened to? Professor Gerard Onyari. Gerard must be maybe on another call, but let's, there he is. Professor Gerard Onyari, have we been listened to?
Dr. Masanga, thank you for that good question. And as usual, we speak the truth. We read facts as they are. And as I do, that the President Uhuru Kenyatta, he has got around 300 days and he has to leave these things in a proper way. So to answer your question, Dr. Masanga, yes, it is not that we are listened to, it is because we share the same feelings and we have what we mean well for this country, and there are some other good people in this country who mean well for this country, like President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has got a rich legacy, Dr. Masanga. You know what it is? You talk of the demonstration strategy. It must not be disrupted, Dr. Masanga. The channel we have walked and where we have reached, we must ensure that as we move forward, there is continuity. There is consistency in whatever we are trying to do. That's why even Baba has come and said, as Miomoja, Miriam, what it entails, it is inclusivity. We want to walk this channel together. And yesterday, as part of the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, I could not imagine the president being in the deep of Kibra, opening level 3 of the hospital, Dr. Masanga, having a little baby in his hands. Dr. Masanga, this is something huge and phenomenal. And thank you, Dr. Masanga, for recommending the demonstration strategy for this country and other countries in Africa and around the world, Dr. Masanga. We cannot be able to gamble with this country. And the strategic position Dr. Masanga, Kenya holds. We cannot allow it to go in another direction, Dr. Masanga. If you destabilize Kenya through the Asra and Tangatanga movement, Dr. Masanga, you have done disservice to this nation. I'm glad that we are sharing the same views with the president and other people of this country, that we want to take care of this country, which we were given, Dr. Masanga, to take care of at our independence.
Oh, thank you very much for those kind words. Redemption strategy, healing, reconciliation, accountability, restitution, reparation leads to healing process. German is where it is today because German took the lead, it healed. German is where it is today because German stood out. Tawish, German stood out because it healed. Are we going to heal? Do we heal first or we look for presidency first?
Thank you so much, Dr. Masanga. Thank you to colleague panelists and everyone who is watching this program in Kenya and the rest of the world. Indeed, Dr. Masanga, the first priority for Kenya, and I think to all people in the world should be to seek peace first before we get into elections or before we seek these elective positions. Because without peace, security, and stability, there's not so much you can achieve even out of the politics or even out of power. What is the importance or what is the significance of getting power when you are in an unstable country or in a country that is not united? So it is important, Dr. Masanga, that we should really pursue peace and stability for our nation first before we can think of politics. Because again, we understand the kind of politics that is being done in the country today, a retrogressive one which is divisive, one which seeks to divide our people. And I think if all of us, especially those who are in the political scene, could actually be able to abide and listen to President Uhuru Kenyatta's appeal that perhaps it's the time for us to heal this nation. It is time for us to ensure we unite all our people before we can embark into seeking these public or even elective positions. But because we are Africans, because that is our tradition and nature, we do not see the significance and importance of it all. Our attention, and we have put all our sight onto getting elected and getting into this power. For whatever reason, I cannot quite explain, Dr. Masamba, but I think it's a conversation that we'll continually be having and engaging as we move forward. I submit, Dr.
Thank you very much. Miriam, back to you. And any headlines that you have spotted out, like the, what was your comment? Was this too small? A reshuffle coming? What is the significance of the reshuffle, Miriam? We're switching cartel, who has been cartelling us on power. You go and charge your meter, you are cartelled. You got to charge everything is cartel, charge cartel, switch to devolution, which will not, where he can fight with the governors in the last minute. And it means, is it an indication that the money was coming partly from cartelling of cartels of the money for the energy industry?
I have no idea about that or the cartelism. We know it's going on, but I'll just digress from that. And President Uhuru Kenyatta, what I know is very serious about delivering his legacy. So by him making this reshuffle, I think he's just trying to make sure he has the right person at the right place so that they are able to implement, because we know these ministries are tasked with very important work of implementing President Uhuru Kenyatta's agenda and the government's agenda and this legacy. So it's important that you have the right person at the right place. So I think at this point, President Uhuru Kenyatta is just trying to figure out who can deliver the most if they're put here and this place. So I think that is what he's worrying about right now. So of course, the other issues that I don't want to get into, but I think he just put people who he thinks will deliver and will help in him delivering his bigger picture of his legacy.
Yeah, but Miriam, when you say you don't want to go in it, when
because I don't have because I don't have
it's not a problem at all.
Yes,
but it is a fact that when you see President Uhuru Kenyatta,
he has the information. Yes, he knows what he's doing.
That is the basis I'm talking about.
Yes,
because I have facts. If anybody wants to challenge me, I can say it. When President Uhuru Kenyatta shifts Juma Monica and shifts Akaranga, is it General Lieutenant Major General Akaharanga, shifts him to any ministry, you know that ministry has a trouble. And those are the men, Miriam, from the experience of Akaranga, you can't go to, people went to bury his father. Like we do the African way, that when somebody has died, Professor, you collect some money. The Ministry of Information Immigration Office has collected some money. So they came, they drove with a immigration bus all the way to Kakamega. This man asked them, did my father know you? My father did not know you. Why did you waste taxpayers' money with fuel from the taxpayers' money and the rest don't know work? And then you bring, yes, the donation is an African accepted. But by 3 p.m., all of you, you are here now. Please, you should be in the office. And I'm going to check if the bus is not in Nairobi by 3 p.m. All of you write your resignation letters. Hey, the immigration officers who went there, that is the type of people that President Uhuru Kenyatta wants. He said, the driver came driving, I don't know, he missed several cars on the way to make sure that they arrive in Nairobi and be industry.
Yes, and that's what I was saying. President Kenyatta, I think he knows these people. He's given them work to do. So he's able to assess how people are working. So by him moving like that, he's just ensuring he gets the right people.
Dr. Masanga, want to come in before I step out?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, Miriam, I've never taken you straightforward, but let me just take you today.
You're welcome.
There is a problem in this country, Miriam. People are crying over fuel energy. Are you not in Nairobi or you are not in Kenya? Are you not seeing how people are crying? Honestly, everything has hiked because of mismanagement of the energy sector. And I know it is the kind of policy of this country, Dr. Masanga, you know what it can mean. Charles Kitem needed to be sacked, Dr. Masanga. It's not only to be transferred. And we have, it's not about facts. And you know, the Monica, the PS you have said, Miriam, Dr. Masanga, these are guys who knows what to be done. So Miriam, from where I sit, it is because of the politics of this country. People will just go around, our people have been sacked, our people have been done, all this one. That's how you do it in a gentleman way of saying, you just go to that minister. But these are the people who deserve to be sacked and even be tried. You know, Miriam, when you commit an economic crime, is like treason. So the minister for the cabinet secretary for energy, has been having fictitious bills, Dr. Masanga. He has made life of Kenyans intolerable, Dr. Masanga. Look at the energy sector. Look at Kenya Power, Kenya Pipeline. Look at Kengen. Look at Kenya Power. We are not going to wish out, and I hope that Dr. Masanga, the president, could have realized this much longer ago. And this one way they were using to siphon out money. Dr. Masanga, do you know prepaid meter? And
was crying about the prepaid meter.
So what we need to do, Dr. Miriam,
I don't have
we have got
prepaid
no apology to make.
I do not have
What we need to do here, these are the facts that can be seen, and the Kenyans are very happy that they have been relieved this burden. And watch this space. The bills are going to come down. It's when you can realize someone was using this one to siphon out money. You need to ask yourself, these people are being fair to current residents. Where does the money come from? You can't bring 1,000 people, 500 people, you give them 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. Tell us the source of this money. I submit, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much, Professor. And I want to cement your point home. Most of us who live in Kenya, those who have lived in Kenya, and let's not pretend to be above Emperor Caesar's wife. And I mean, we are seriously affected by the prices. All of you are affected. It comes from energy sector, the fuel, the confusion on the fuel, the hike of prices. It has touched every Kenyan. Even if you are not on a prepaid meter, even if you are paying, there are people paying even heavily. You find your bill has been doubled. And I have seen people in KPLC
crying,
even fighting cashiers. I am an investigative journalist. So when I bring information, I don't bring lies. I don't bring lies because I have facts. I've gone somewhere and I've seen people fighting, even breaking the counter. You have been given a bill of 80,000 shillings. of electricity you never used. You get my point? That is the suffering that most Kenyans were hoping that somebody could come and rescue them. And we support the government. We don't support it on lies. We support with facts. Every day we have been talking about facts here, figures here, money stolen. That meter, the first meter, which made the KPLC lose 11 workers. Cartel said the whole group of Zambia team. You remember the Zambia team that fixed the mafia that was cartel, the cartels that were fixing the meters. You remember, Miriam, originally there were meters, which they brought, where they charge us when you buy a token from the shop. There is more money taken, and the exact money goes to Ruto's bag. Honestly. And it was found out who was the chairman of KPLC, Kenya Power. It was Mr. That Indian man. You remember who is he? He's a partner of William Ruto. Let's take the facts. These are facts. And anybody here can not say he's not affected unless we are living in a pseudo life. Anybody in Kenya is affected because of the prices of fuel. And the ministry that is supposed to have removed all this subsidy, removed all this medium before the petrol arrives at the pump. There is another corporation called NOC. There is another one, levy. There is another levy. There is another levy. Now, surely, Uganda that carries the fuel by tanker, the fuel in Uganda is less expensive. It's not expensive.
Yes.
Because there is no tax. You carry your fuel, you take your tanker to Mombasa, carry your fuel, you pay the tax customs, you go with your fuel, that's the end.
Yes.
So, but in Kenya, the ministry of where the man was getting this money, Miriam, he was getting the money from there. That's why the man has been telling people, showing them the middle fingers, everybody in the government, because the money was coming from the Ministry of Energy. A huge money. Because if you are getting almost 1 billion shillings per month, 1 billion, you can overturn a government. You can overturn a government. Kenya Power, okay, KPC, who got the tenders? Is the managing director there? Who was the managing director who drove with the hard cash and the lorry was intercepted? You remember when it was entering somebody's compound? We had this story. This guy was arrested. He ran until the DCI got him. But that is behind us. The point here is this. The reshuffle comes. Is it worth the reshuffle?
Yes.
The president should have gone further. He's done very well, but he should have gone further. There are ministries that need real time to go into war, a very dangerous war. And that dangerous war, Miriam, is the election. You need a team that you trust. And the president must do that, to have a team that he trusts, not a team that is going to siphon. Because, Miriam, look here at the devolution. What will you get? You want to tell the governor, give me percentage. Which governor will risk himself to go to the Senate to answer because he gave you percentage? But here, who owns the petrol stations? Let's look at it. Look at one of the leading petrol stations, Starbucks. Who is the owner? Who is the owner? You know him. You know him like I know him. Since we don't want to talk about people now, time will come when we talk. But the point here is this, my panel, is this has taught us a lesson. That the ministry, for example, the Ministry of Defense, you need strong-handed. Monica has done very well as a lady in that ministry. Wamarwa has done very well in devolution, to contain devolution. Now you need a person who can steer it. Look at the social protection unit. Miriam, people have a check. Your dad, my sister, my cousin, retired. If you don't give your dad or your mother or your sister money, can he survive on retirement benefit? No. The check takes 4 years, 4 months. Believe me or not, a man has to travel all the way from Busia or Kisumu to come and collect a check, which is entitled to. The Department of Social Services had collapsed. You get my point? A very good PS, but a very dangerous minister. What is it called, Miriam? NHIF. You see the wrangles there, minister, because the man wanted Israel managing director, seconded by the man you know across the bridge. And it has been having a wrangle with the court wanting to withdraw his money. So the president had information.
Yes.
And I think he has done a very good blow on that one. So all of us, these things affect us, Miriam.
Yes, Doc,
back to you.
Yes, and I agree with you totally. And we know KPLC is there's a lot of corruption there. But you've brought up the issue of taxes, and even Kenyans wonder, how is it Uganda gets passes its fuel from, through Kenya, and yet the fuel in Uganda is way cheaper than us, and it's because of the taxes. And it's today's, Star newspaper on page 2, the National Treasury has rejected calls to revise fuel taxes, saying the move will distort the country's budgetary allocation to various state departments. Principal Secretary Julius Muya told MPs on Wednesday that any alteration or elimination of a rate of tax must take into account its knock-on effect on the national budget. He said any amendments to the tax laws would lead to drawing a supplementary budget to adjust revenues, and the taxman stands to lose in the changes. So this what the MPs are pushing for these taxes that has been imposed on the fuel. Treasury is saying if you remove them now, that will not be a good idea. It will affect, especially President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda.
Taxation, Miriam, is the norm of every country. But it is now the MPs we should blame. They should understand the plight of the local people. Why is the fuel in Uganda cheaper than the fuel in Kenya? They have loaded workers. They have loaded institutions. That should not be there. That's the point. That's Miriam, 4 years we have been talking about structural challenges. Kenya faces structural challenges, duplication of work. If you go to Namibia, for example, I want to give you an example comparative before Professor leaves. In Namibia, Miriam, you and I, for us who are in the poor category, when we buy airtime, when you go to buy airtime in Safaricom, there is no VAT money there. The VAT, Miriam, is automatically taken. Did you know that there is no VAT person there is no department of VAT in Namibia? Because it's already itemized. When you buy airtime in Namibia, 1,000 shillings, 20 shillings is taken. And then it tells you it has taken 20 shillings for VAT. So time has come for Kenya to change. Kenya is one of the most digital area in the whole Africa. You know, Miriam, if they tax you quietly, it will be better than taxing you loudly.
But taking part of my credit, that is very loud, Doc.
Let me have something to say on taxes.
But you don't feel it. Miriam, you don't feel it. Here, you are using, like now, okay, this, a minute, Prof. If you are, for example, borrowing money from M-Shwari, or you are borrowing money for Okoa, what is this thing? Jahazi. It tells you that you have borrowed 1,000 shillings, but your credit is 900. Because we have already taken 100. But because you are consuming it. But this thing of waiting, you know, maybe I'm learning from me and I learned something. Where on this planet Earth, this Dr. Matanga does not want a credit card. I'm sorry. This David, if you expect me in your hotel to produce a credit card, no. If the money is not on the credit card, on debit card, I will not eat. That's my principle. School, I will not eat. And in my house, whether here is where, like in Britain here, where things are liberal. Oh, bring me a bill at the end of the month. Me, David Masanga, a bill at the end of the month. Walai ya Mungu hakuna. Don't bring any bill on my door. I have installed equipment. Use it as you eat, not eat and pay. If there's no power here, like now, if you see this thing going off, it means it's over. I will not broadcast until I put in, then broadcast. Hakuna hiyo maneno ya Kizare. Learn like Indian life. It's not like Kizare. So some people go under in Runda, legs up. Habiri itakuja at the end of the month. Hakuna. You are inconvenienced. I came with one guy at the airport, Miriam, I want to tell you frankly. We reached the airport that he has got this phone from Nairobi, which talks about pay, what did you call it? Pay at the end of the month. What is it called?
Prepaid.
No, prepaid is us, we small ones. The one you pay at the end of the month.
That is postpaid.
Postpaid.
Exactly. Bwana tunafika airport. He's a very senior man. Hakuna kumbe. Hiyo postpaid, he forgot to pay. He said, oh, my phone, I put on roaming, it can't work. I told him, my friend, look at the message. It says, the payment date. I don't want to tell you, but I'll tell you in confidence in the name of the very senior person. So me, Matanga, who had, can you believe that the tariffs are so good now? Miriam, where I am now, I'm calling, professors just called me. I can call you direct using Safaricom with Vodafone from where I am now. The rates are almost the same. So for me, with my prepaid, quickly, nilishika, I rang for him a taxi. He did not have a money, even to ring for taxi. He had the money, but not the phone. So he mambo ya kusema taxation is better to be taxed silently. You pay than the current taxation that we have today, which comes with, which Miriam is saying is loaded on the taxation. Now, the time has come. The president is going into the energy sector. Yesterday, they recommended a very serious energy sector regulations. By December, I tell you, people in Kenya, we shall enjoy power kila pale. Because even the 33% reduction medium, you put in your meter. Within, for us who use meter. Me, I use meter, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie like a Ruto who says, I can quote every verse in the Bible, but he has not returned the goods that Zachariah and Zachariah returned. I don't want. I want to tell the truth. Me, I use the meter. Even in Nairobi, I use the meter. I put there 10,000 shillings for 1 month. If it is finished, I go back and pay. But it's tacky. Kufanya kulala like a lord. Lords in this country are the only ones who have made money long time ago. So that is our submission. The legacy continues. The president brings the legacy. Medium, that is one of the topics that struck us. The Tonga, before I come to Tawish, or Tawish has finished already. The Tonga, what do you think picked up of the newspapers before we hammer back to the legacy?
Thank you very much, Miriam. Dr. Matanga and my panelists for your sentiments. And indeed, I think it is very timely and a very, a great move following the reshuffling that happened yesterday. And of course, the biggest elephant in the room right now is, on the energy sector. And I believe the reassignments and the reshuffling that happened, are aimed at improving efficiency and, service delivery to the people of the country. But I think we might be having a very major reshuffle. And I think what happened yesterday was just, testing the waters. So I think should be on the lookout, and within no time, I'm sure the likes of Keter might be, leaving the office. Yeah, and I am left to, hold on the promise of energy, because clearly it is a menace. And I have no doubt from the, Monica Juma, being the Mrs. Fix It, is going to fix it. But however, I would love her to also shed some green lights of some questions that I have, where, Kenya Power is concerned. Why is it that, it is still a monopolized, it has been the only monopolized, company for that long? And can we also have a third party of a different, energy company that can come up? Because I believe in, competition, and I believe when competition is very healthy, and once we have competition, we are going to, we are going to strike an equilibrium where prices are concerned. But however, I think the move has been a great move, and let's just wait and see. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pano. Miriam, you better remind in a quiet way our friends on the chat that in Kenya there is a law that once the case is in court, we don't talk about Namdi Khan case on our platform anymore, because we shall be violating the court procedures. The Namdi Khan, you have seen what is on the chat. You better address them quietly, because for me, I will address them loudly.
I usually just ignore and just focus on the subject.
If you ignore, they change. They are the people reducing our credibility over nothing. The brothers who are writing all these things, please. The case in Kenya, once it is in court, Namdi Khan has gone to court and accused the Kenya government of being abducted from Kenya. That case has been filed in Kenya, and therefore we cannot talk about it now until it is finalized. Therefore, please forgive us and let us do our work. We have not been mentioned anywhere or given any papers that were part or complicit to the plot. We are not. So let's do our work. Watch us. We also fight for him to be released like you do. We didn't know, and we have never known until now it has come out. So the case is in court, and we can't start talking about it on this platform when it is in the Kenyan courts. the judges will issue warrants for us immediately to appear before them to say why we are talking about a matter which is already before the judges. Thank you very much. Let's proceed. Daniel, thank you very much, Gitonga. Daniel Wesonga. Okay, Daniel Wesonga. Okay, fine.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Matsanga David. And on my end, I think President Uhuru Kenyatta killed two birds using one stone on the reshuffle. First, he was able to check a ministry where there was perhaps massive corruption and looting of public coffers. And those are the undertones of the streets. We cannot actually be able to dismiss them. And I saw yesterday, even during a TV interview, coming from Madira MP, Rigathi Gachagua, who is a close associate of the Deputy President, saying that monies have been taken away from the allies of the Deputy President in the cabinet. So my question will be, where does this money always end up in? So that tells you that these are people who have been siphoning money from the ministries to advance their agenda in Karen, as Professor Jared Onyari said. Also, secondly, I agree with Miriam and yourself, Dr. Matsanga David, strongly that the president knows the strength of each and every of the members of the cabinet. And therefore, whoever person was moved from one ministry to another, he knows that these people will be able to serve the best, to the best of their ability in these ministries. For example, you've given an example, rather, of the Ministry of Defense, which needs someone who is very, very much stronger and decisive in making decisions that will affect the security both internally and externally. So I think that is the best man suited for that particular ministry. You've mentioned about Lieutenant Gordon Kihalangwa, who has been moved to the Ministry of Energy. I know he's going to do some good cleaning job of the corruption and the illicit business that has been going into that particular ministry. So all summed up, I believe that will strengthen the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta and make him finish up the projects that are still pending and make sure that he leaves behind a country that is actually on the right path. So to me, that is a 2-goal score for the president. I submit.
Back to you, Miriam, in the panel. Bring us.
I think I have not made my submission on the question of the reshuffle or the cabinet reshuffle. Maybe if you allow me time just briefly. One, I think I likely agree with the decision of the president to make that particular cabinet reshuffle. It is timely, it's absolutely necessary because, again, Dr. Matsanga, as other panelists have indeed submitted, this is something that was long overdue, especially when you look into the energy docket. Because there's a lot that has been happening there. Kenyans have been crying about, of course, the cost of energy in the country, something that has even seen the cost of fuel going up. The cost of electricity has been so high for the people of Kenya. And I think it goes a long way in alleviating the pain that we have been feeling as a people, especially when it comes to the cost of energy in the country. Dr. Matsanga, it is the prerogative of the president really to appoint and reassign members of his cabinet as he deems it fit, because again, there's an aspect of service delivery and efficiency when it comes to members of the cabinet. So I think it was right for the president to do this. There's also something that has been mentioned, Professor Nyari did allude to that fact, that probably for Keter, there's a feeling maybe he's been involved in corruption or corrupt activities. He should have been relieved of his duties. But again, I think for the president not relieving his duties but chose to reassign him was strategic in a way, in the sense that, you know, Deputy President William Ruto and allies will really gladly wait for such kind of an opportunity for them to politicize the whole kind of cabinet reshuffle, in that it's targeting his allies or people who are related to the cabinet. So I think it was strategic for the president to retain him in the cabinet, but again, to give him what I'll put in quote as lighter duties, because in essence, maybe that is what he deserves. He's not performed well in the energy sector, a very lucrative docket for that matter. He should have done better. But I think this is good, and as we head into 2022 general election, President Uhuru Kenyatta also wants to secure his legacy. And if there's anybody who is not aligned to President Uhuru Kenyatta's attempts to secure his legacy, then I think he's right to make the changes that he has made, and we hope that he's going to make even more as we head into 2022, or at least before his term comes to the end. Dr. Matsanga, I submit.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam. And I don't know whether there is anybody who has picked any other item on the news that brings out any importance. I saw something on the Standard newspaper headline was
the Standard newspaper, power at play in surprise cabinet shuffle. I think what we have been talking about, but also yes. I think another thing to do with the President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy on the expressway, and President Uhuru Kenyatta will commission the Nairobi Expressway in April 2022. Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia made the announcement yesterday during a site visit to assess the progress of the works. He also announced that the road was 64% complete. Test runs on the road will take place in March next year, as we are confident that the contractors will have completed all works by February. Macharia added that the project will be completed in 2 years instead of the earlier projected 4 years. We shortened the project as the contractors have been working in 24 hours. So I think the expressway is quickly changing even the face of Nairobi as we speak, and it is slowly coming to a complete. And as the CSDR said, it's now 64% complete, and they'll complete it 2 years earlier than it had been projected. So that's some good job there.
Yeah, thank you very much. On the legacy, Professor Jared Onyari, any comments that you want to make on that? And let's make it's part of the legacy. 24 months, 4 years, reduce 24-hour economy. These guys are burning. Hey, it's a lot of material. But Miriam, one of the things that you people should know is when you go to Kenya, when you go to Mombasa, Mombasa is also transformed. I don't know when you were last there, but Onyari, you must have gone by air to Malindi, to Lamu, your hideout. But let me tell you, Mombasa now, at the moment, is 12. If the Mombasa one is finished, entering Mombasa will be like you have entered New York, especially on the first bridge. It will be like New York. So these are some of the things that infrastructure development, unity and infrastructure development. Let's discuss.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Masanga. Let me just have this to submit that development, Dr. Masanga, is a process of improving the quality of life of the people in terms of infrastructure. In terms of infrastructure means that, Dr. Masanga, people spend less time to travel. People spend less time to reach their goods, to reach the market. And let me tell you, this express highways, what's going to do. Dr. Masanga, you are a regular traveler. Someone comes with you, you drop in Nairobi, he continues on transit to South Africa, he reaches South Africa, he checks in an hotel, he showers and sits to he enjoys meal, and you have not moved from the airport to reach even the City Cabana Solonyana Stadium. So this is something which is huge and a phenomenon in the sense that where do people see on how to manage Dr. Masanga? It is 2 projects. The longer the period it takes Dr. Masanga, that's how people will check out the money. So when you shorten the period of doing the project, Dr. Masanga, be assured that you avoid corruption. And you have reduced corruption by 50%. So in this, as Miriam must say that the express highway, Dr. Masanga, is changing the shape of Nairobi. And here this, when there will be completion, Dr. Masanga, by April next year, this is going to be a game changer, Dr. Masanga, that in terms when people need to travel, Dr. Masanga, they will take the shortest time, Dr. Masanga. See what the standard gauge has done, Dr. Masanga. So in terms of infrastructure, it's not only the express highway, Dr. Masanga, go to every corner in this country. Somewhere the way comes from Naro, he can tell you there's a road which is being done there. Miriam comes from Nyanza and western parts of Kenya. He can tell you when you go and see what's happening in Kisumu, Dr. Masanga. Even where I come from, Nyamira, there's something going on. So in terms of infrastructure, now Uhuru Muigai said that ni kusema na kutenda. Indeed, he has said and he has done what he said to the people of Kenya. He's want Dr. Masanga to leave a rich legacy, Dr. Masanga. And I say kudos to the minister, the cabinet secretary for transport, Dr. Masanga, because timelines is very key. And sometimes as you prolong the project, that's where you find that the contractor can even take you to court and you end up paying a lot of money. So trying to conclude the project on time, this is a good thing. And I must also say that my brother, Dr. Matiang, has done very extremely well because he supervises Dr. Masanga. And someone, when he was supervising Dr. Masanga, this is how he was making his skill. So on this, I am very happy and I salute President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is a rich legacy and I'm being indebted to the Prime Minister for having given the President the handshake to give a conducive environment for the people of this country to receive development. See how much time we take Dr. Masanga to come with an Revotrier hospital. It's just 6 months and it's complete. So if you ensure that your projects are concluded on time, you will save money and you will fight corruption. I submit.
Thank you very much. Gitonga.
Thank you very much, Dr. Matanga and my co-panelists for your sentiments. Yeah, on the issue of the expressway, what I can say is I think the magnificence and the sheer, when you look at the sheer size of the Nairobi expressway, is something that one cannot really comprehend until you actually take an up close. And I think slowly by slowly, the positive economic ripple effects are starting to be felt, countrywide. And what I like I mentioned the other day, I know we are, anyone that say that Kenya is not a devolved country right now, I think clearly does not live in this country. And if I can talk from from the Mount Kenya region, there's a road called Mau Mau Road that is, that snakes through the counties of Murang'a, Nyeri, Kiambu, and Nyandarua. That is, has already taken shape. And what do we see about this? This is going to ensure that the said counties are going to reap maximum agricultural potent, and it's going to give an ease and an efficient of farm produce to industry and markets. So I think so far so good, and I have no doubt that the president legacy is secure.
Thank you very much. Any more comments on that from anybody?
Daniel.
Well, Dr. Masanga, to me, I think this is kind of a well thought out and progressive developmental agenda for the Republic of Kenya. Because again, Dr. Masanga, today when you talk about, say, for example, the agricultural produce moving from one direction to another, say, for example, the Miraa farmers, maybe if they are taking their Miraa to the airport at JKIA, they may not be in a position to reach there simply because of the traffic. But if you do that, then you'll be making it easier for them and also for the produce to reach to the destination or to the intended market. So in itself, it's really a boost to the farmers that their agricultural produce will be able to reach market in time and reduce the time that is being wasted in traffic. Dr. Masanga, there's also another aspect on the tourism front, and I think that is what Professor Nyari has did mention. He's highlighted about Mombasa, what is happening in Mombasa today, the kind of infrastructural development that is ongoing over there. What we have in Nairobi as, of course, famed as the Express Highway. It's very, very noble agenda for the people of Kenya, and I think we should appreciate what President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing on the infrastructural development. Other panelists have also spoken about the rural development, the infrastructural development or the road connectivity that is being done by the new administration led by President Uhuru Kenyatta in various parts of the country. In itself, Dr. Masanga is a clear demonstration that indeed the president is committed in fulfilling the pledges he made to the people of Kenya, and more so when he's serving his second and final term in office. He does not want to leave any of the promises or pledges he made unattended to, and that is why you see he's moving in earnest to make sure that the same is implemented within the remaining period, and so that people cannot have an excuse when he retires from being president that he did not actually rise to the occasion and address the things that he had promised the people of Kenya. So these are the kind of things we really want see being done. It is an inspiration. It is that which motivates the people of Kenya. That indeed this is the kind of leadership we want. This is the continuity of leadership that the people of Kenya want. We want to see more homes, more areas being connected to electricity. We want to see more places being connected to, of course, connected through the roads. Because Dr. Masanga today, if someone fell sick, assuming even you have bought ambulances or you've even built a good health facilities, but you do not have a proper road network to connect that person from their place to the destination, or say to the hospital or to a medical facility, how will it be possible? So in itself, Dr. Masanga, I think it is something that opens up the whole country, and Kenyans should be very happy with their president. They should be very happy that the president is living up to his promises. I submit.
Daniel?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Masanga David. And of course, speaking last, I think my fellow panelists have really exhausted the field. But nonetheless, I will actually want to mention that free movement of goods and services is actually the trigger for any trade or industry. So when we see President Uhuru Kenyatta actually working on the infrastructural development, and especially in the area of opening up roads, it will mean that goods will be able to move in a very efficient time from the port of Mombasa, Lamu, all the way to the interior of Kenya and even the East African region. So to me, I believe this is a move that is going to see some incentive for business growth, for industry, and that will translate into putting more money in the pockets of the people of Kenya. And just beside that, the Nairobi Expressway, as someone who uses Waiyaki Way and Uhuru Highway and all the major city roads, you could see the kind of potential that actually lays in that road. By today in the morning, I was reading a newspaper which says that the road is going to reduce 30% of the traffic that we experience in Nairobi. And you realize that if people are wasting that amount of time on traffic jams, we reduce the hours of labor in our industries and other enterprises. So when that road is finished, all that is going to be transferred into our industry, which means people will have more time to produce more, and that will actually have an impact on the economies. And that should go and sync well with the people who say that we cannot eat roads. Roads are very quintessential in any economy. The more you open up the infrastructural development in terms of roads, railways, and even the metros, the more your labor workforce is able to move, the goods and services are able to move. That's why countries like China's are still constructing superhighways. When you go to the US, we have the Texas superhighway, which has 20 lanes on each side. So they should know that President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing more than any other president has done for Kenya. Also, an idea that I would want to keep my mind is the establishment of level 3 and level 4 hostels in the slum areas. I think that is more than excellent for the president. That is going to go a long way to ensure that we have solved the issues of health, sanitation, and other disease-related problems in the slum settlements, and that will elevate the lives and also the health of the people who are living in those particular areas. In regards to the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, Dr. Masanga summed up. I think he has done exceptionally well. I submit.
Thank you very much for that one. My submission on the highway is, or what is it called? The Nairobi
Expressway.
Is it Expressway? You live in West Nairobi, Westlands, or you live in Kinoo, and you want to go to Machakos. It will be simple, 45 minutes to 1 hour, and you are in Machakos or the junction up there. 2, the industries, for example, tourism. You book a hotel in Kempinski, or the new hotel which is coming next to Kempinski. I don't know whether you people have seen Marriott with 47 floors, 47 with the best restaurants across, I think in East and Central, Chinese restaurants. Very good. And I think we are going to test it about October, November, God willing. They are opening it soon. So you live there and you go, you book your hotel, you do your business, go back to the airport, is 15 minutes. You don't need to wake up so early. You see, if you are going by Kenya Airways to the airport, or by Emirates, or by British Airways now, you have to leave so early, after about 4 o'clock, in order to catch up a plane which is leaving at 8 o'clock. And with the pandemic, you are bound to have quite a lot of difficulties. So the tourism industry will grow. There will be quite a lot of businesses. More hotels will be built across this way and across that way in Sekimayo. The buildings are going. Universities can now expand. You already know Kitengela. That thing feeds Kitengela. There is more Nairobi University. There is East African University. There is another university there. There is Kampala University. You have seen several of the branches across there. So we are infrastructure, as far as infrastructure development, President Uhuru Kenyatta has laid a background. Britain, Europe grew to industrial countries because of transport links. And unfortunately, we have a lot of hills we cannot bring water inside. But time has come for us also to look at Mombasa, that we could have a waterway, like Gaddafi did Mediterranean Sea. We could have a waterway into same arid places. However hard it is, we should have the whole of the Tana River, not Tana River, a tunnel, a river, a waterway that takes boats where people can go. You can make in time to come, 10, 20 years to come. Investors will be interested in the Indian Ocean coming to Taita Hills as far as Taveta, where the land is slow, is in a valley. You can create a city, and that city can be of a very big, important. The Thames, for example, there was no river in across London, but it was made. Did you know that the Thames is a man-made river? It was just cut. They cut Atlantic Ocean from the other side to this side, and the river passes through London. How much goods are transported? Should should ships come in, offload goods? The country has developed for centuries. It was cut long time ago. Technology was not there, Miriam. If you come and look at London Bridge, at Tower Bridge, which opens, it opens the whole, the cement has never come out. Another point that I want us to look at is the time taken by the Chinese to make this expressway compared to the African contractors. There are some African contractors who are still struggling with 2 kilometers of road. And they have gone back for more money fast. You know why Chinese do their projects faster? It's because they come with cash. Their bank is in there with them. They don't have anywhere to bank. Have you seen where these people sleep? Any of you knows where they sleep? Tell me one of the Chinese you have found in big hotels sleeping there that I'm the I'm the chief engineer of the road. Boss, have you found any of them posing around? But you look at our contractors, Miriam. They are smoking cigar, you know, in the hotel. Say, you know, I'm the one constructing that in Nairobi, Kangundo Road. And my tractors are going there tomorrow. Can you please speed up the payments? You know, no. These people come with their money, put it in the bank. The manager, the general manager, the man who signs the checks, Medium, is a general. The accountant is a brigadier general. We better look at ethics, how people, because at times we wonder how in 24 months these guys are able. They don't miss payment. Have you seen any worker working on the roads complaining, going on strike? They are paid. Like today, 30th, Miriam, they are going to receive their money prompt. And they will go home and, you know, they service, they pay school fees for their children. They do quite a lot of things. There is no complaint at all. But our own contractors, the African contractors, we have a problem. And that is one of the things the legacy should watch out, that in the future, when whoever takes over, not whoever, now we know who the takeover is Raila Amolo Odinga. There is no question about that. For me, when I speak, God has given me the message. Amen. Oh yes, oh yes. I don't care whether he loves me or he doesn't love me. I'm not bothered, but I want him to go. I don't care. Do you know the man who doesn't care is Matan? Whether Raila will love me or not, but I just want Raila to be the president of Kenya. For the reasons that I have, I want to tell you frankly, very many reasons. I don't care. And let's meet with anybody there who will stop me in the future. Kataona. Kwangu, I don't mind. I want him to win. I want him to be the president because he will. There's one thing that I want, and let people listen. He will unite this nation, Jared. He will unite that nation called Kenya. This other man will break it to pieces. You have seen his people, the way they speak on TV. You've seen what they spoke yesterday. When Rigathi talked, whatever I talked, I felt I was in Nairobi, I would have answered him. Look at the way they speak. So I don't mind. Thank you very much, Professor. You can leave us now. Enjoy tomorrow. If you have time, join us. But we are right. And thank you. Let's proceed with the legacy for another 20 minutes and look at the projects that have been done elsewhere, hospitals, roads, and so on. Back to you, Miriam, in Nairobi.
Right. Thank you so much. And so we move on to, of course, other things. And there's something, Doc, you brought up yesterday, the hospitals that President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday, accompanied by his handshake brother, opposition leader Raila Odinga, and they officially opened the Nairobi Metropolitan Services Kibra Level 3 Hospital in Kibera, Nairobi yesterday. The head of state was accompanied by, as I said, their former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and NMS Director General Lieutenant General Mohamed Badi. Uhuru launched 2 hospitals, both of them level 3. He said the new facilities will help thousands and ease congestion at Mbagathi Hospital. So, Professor there had mentioned earlier, you know, for when developments like this, infrastructure and all this healthcare and all these projects are done with the aim of improving the quality of life. I'm sure the people of Kibera right now, that is something that they will, they'll be thankful about, because having a hospital closer to you than going all the way to Kenyatta or other places. And hospital that it also, I think, will be quite affordable. The treatment there will be quite affordable because it's a government hospital. That will go a long way in ensuring these people have a quality, life there in Kibra, I think. Daniel.
Yes, I think I totally agree with you on that one of the things that was opened was that hospital. It is very, very important that the hospital now goes out to help the innocent, the people who needed it most. Mm-hmm. But one problem, obstacle, Miriam, which remains very clear is the question of the courts. As President Uhuru Kenyatta is doing all this goodwill, the courts are dismantling and rubbishing, blocking. In a nutshell, the courts are saying what the MNS have done is illegal. So, look, we might. I think whoever takes over, this government must think of revamping, overhaul. Let's use the word of Gitonga. Overhaul the courts. Let's begin overhauling them, Miriam. Completely, all of them. That will help quite a lot in making sure that the courts work with the government. The judiciary works with the government. And if the judiciary is not working with the government, then the government will not be able to do the work. So I submit that was a very good gesture and a good gesture. This morning, as you speak right now, the former Prime Minister is right now, my friend Gujiri has just rang me from Serena Hotel. They are meeting all the MPs of Jubilee that are allied to President Uhuru Kenyatta are meeting Raila Odinga in Serena Hotel right now. They are just in a meeting, a very crucial meeting, which is a very good sign that things are going to work well and we shall one day have a united Kenya. Yes, Daniel.
Tawish.
I don't know whether we're song is there. Maybe let's bring in Sharon.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Masanga, sorry, my network is a bit down. So I think it is a very, very good initiative for the president to open up those hospitals. And those are some of the developmental projects that directly actually touch the lives of the Kenyan citizens. And more so, those ones who live below $1 a day in the slums like Kibra, like Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mukuru kwa Ruben. And the good work is being done by NMS, which I'll take our viewers back to remind them that this is the same agency. When it was being set up, we had a lot of retort and seamers of dissent from the supporters of the deputy president, casting all kinds of aspersions and pessimism against the NMS. But as we have come to see, this is actually an agency that has been able to deliver much for Nigeria, for Nairobians. Because when you walk around the city, you see city estates roads being recarpeted. You can see boreholes being sunk. You can see slums being cleaned. Garbage is being collected in the city. We have seen cabros being laid in major city streets, which were actually getting some potholes during the Governor Mike movie song called Rain in Power. So I think this is something quite very solid. And I've seen the president is not only focusing on a smaller picture of maybe having these hospitals build up. We also have his bigger agenda on healthcare, which is the universal healthcare, where just this week, the MPs passed a bill that every Kenyan above the age of 18 is actually entitled to have an HIF cover. And that will enable Kenyans to access the same healthcare with a very, very small amount of money, and even in some aspects for free. So I think the president is looking towards having a country which is healthy, a country which is also well-fed, and a country whose citizens are actually empowered to be able to put bread on their table. And that is what we should look at as a people, not just politicking and bickering all day long. So I think, to me, the detractors of the president should look at the good work he's doing, and we Kenyans should actually be thankful. Because to me, I think, Dr. Masanga, President Uhuru Kenyatta has done more, even more than what Mwai Kibaki did in terms of infrastructural development. We look at the kilometers of road that have been built under. It actually doubles what Kibaki does. Okay, Kibaki was the pioneer of some of these infrastructural projects, but without the help of President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013 and right now, whatever he's doing, we wouldn't be seeing them coming to Freetown. And therefore, I think he has set a bar so high in that whoever will be taking over after him will have actually to be someone who can be able to fit in his shoes. So without that, I don't think Kenyans can get any better deal more than what they have got under the leadership of President Uhuru Kenyatta. I submit.
Yes, Miriam.
I think maybe Sharon.
Litonga, you have Sharon, sorry.
Thank you very much, Miriam, Dr. Matanga, and Daniel Osonga for your comments. And I could not agree more. And just maybe to echo on what you have said, is that the president is committed in revamping the health industry and ensuring that every individual, is sustained by, delivering quality and good health facilities. And not just that, but you've seen at the hospitals, like during yesterday's launch, those are state of art facilities that are in the least expected areas. And I think through the revamping the health sector is going to shift the dynamics of as far as universal healthcare is concerned. And what happens when we have when we have a healthy nation, then we have a wealthy nation. So I am very pleased by what the current government is doing. In ensuring that we have. And even we have, we have a we have a. The health industry is taken in accord of, and thank you.
Okay. Now, Miriam, there is a program that you did on the Big Four. Can it be played? There was an advert on Big Four agenda.
Yeah.
If we can look at that advert,
Right.
the Big Four so far, which will form part of our infrastructure. Last minute, we have about 25 minutes to close it by 12.
All right.
So that we can, yeah. Then I can line. Is it playing?
As production looks for it, perhaps, Doc, you wanted to say something? Just go ahead.
Is it what I'm saying is?
Yes.
Then I bring out the obstacles finally, and then we close. The obstacles. Yes, is playing?
Not yet, but as they do that, perhaps a bit also of some update in relation to President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. The government, through the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation, set aside 1.7 billion Kenya shillings to implement independent community projects aimed at increasing water supply to the vulnerable communities, especially during COVID-19 pandemic. The project, which was implemented by Athi Water Works Development Agency in partnership with Nairobi Metropolitan Services, involved drilling of 193 boreholes and construction of elevated steel tanks. That is very good. And we know this was drilled especially in areas like the slums and the people who really need it. And I think that is what Kenyans don't care that bad is illegal. Kenyans care that I have water, my road is good, I have a hospital. I think that is what matters, especially to the people of Nairobi, yes. And I'm told the video is ready, and then you can continue with the conversation.
The government of Kenya is keen on the development of social economic infrastructure to support the realization of the Big Four agenda and Vision 2030. The ambitious infrastructure projects are aimed at opening up the country for business and bolster productivity, particularly in the agricultural, manufacturing and the service industry, as this would bolster employment opportunities. Part of these critical infrastructure projects include the ongoing 27-kilometer expressway linking Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Nairobi's Westlands. Upon completion, the expressway will exponentially reduce travel times within Nairobi and thus help the country save man-hours, which is being lost in the traffic jams on a daily basis. The Lake Victoria Port Modernization Project to increase cargo handling capacity of the port and to increase Kenya's bilateral and multilateral trading within the region. The expansion of healthcare facilities to facilitate fruition of the country's universal healthcare coverage under the Big Four agenda. By speeding up movement of people and goods, the government is aiming to promote trading through reduction of travel times and costs.
All right.
Let me begin with what Miriam was talking about: water, roads, good roads. That is all what humanity is. People need those things. If those things are not available, you cannot even have a wheelbarrow. If water is not there, can you push the wheelbarrow without washing, without showering, without going to bath, without cooking? Those are the most important cardinal things that a human being needs. Man does not need only shelter and bread. Man needs extra things. What are the extra things that God talked about? God talked about the extra things like water, availability of communication. Talk about this again, Miriam. The First Lady has just commissioned right now, a few minutes ago, in the Communication Authority of Kenya.
Our favorite
our man is, yes, our man is already there. Kirova, first guest, the first guest that he got is
First Lady.
is the First Lady. So there you are. They have just commissioned communication for the children,
I think so.
online,
Yeah.
cyberbullying
or something, just to protect our children while they are
our
online.
children.
Yes.
So this is a legacy. We are working. The legacy is working, and Kilova is there, and we are moving. And Miriam, yesterday you saw the tweet by Akombe.
No, what did she say? I did not see it. What did she say this time?
Gitonga and Daniel, you saw that tweet.
Is it the one that she said that 2022 is sealed, or?
Is sealed and done, yes.
Yes, Dr. Watson.
Any interpretation of that, Daniel and Sharon? I want to hear your interpretation.
I think, Dr. Masanga, anyone who has been in Kenya long enough and knows whatever each role each player takes, I think they should be able just to do a very, very small analysis. You could call it, you always call it comparative analysis with what happens, in those particular corridors, and we'll have the point home.
Does it surprise you that the first guest, therefore, is the guest we expect?
It doesn't surprise me, Dr. Masanga.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Gitonga, anything you picked out of that? He said, with appointment of Chiroba, the 2020 general elections is sealed. That is, Miriam, if you did not read the tweet, that's what the tweet is. So we are just making a comment in line with legacy. Is the legacy sealed? Are we on the right? And the analysis went further to analyze who are recently President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed Kasaiti as the head of media. And I think we know head of is it head of what? Of IT. She's IT information. And then there is Mohati. You can see the link is surely is a very good network. The only man isolated out on that link is Chebukati. So, but I'm told Chebukati is also was originally a member of another party that is not well, we shall confirm. I told you, Miriam, I stopped talking about Chebukati because I physically, you know, when another man finds you and you find each other and sit on table, Songa, don't blame me, but when another man finds you and says, my friend, you are killing me for nothing. This is A, B, C, D. I don't think you have a reason again to start fighting him. I've taken that route of a leaf. But there's a question that I want to ask, that we church goers, before we repent, don't we return them this whatever we did to others? Zakayo returned everything before Jesus allowed him. Jesus told him, go and return everything to people, give it out and come. I just want to ask my final question. As the deputy president returned all the money that he stole, for him to quote the Bible every night, every morning, every day, has he? I leave it to the panel. Your closing remarks, Miriam. Let the panel
start. Yes. Perhaps Sharon.
We have gone to the Bible. The legacy is very clear. It's firm. President Uhuru Kenyatta has created, I promise to say, obstacles. Sorry, I'd forgotten before you close. One of the obstacles is piecemeal overhauling. Piecemeal overhauling is not very good. The president at the moment needs a tight, nice team, a team that is on the fingertips, a tight team that once we say, "Ha, you go," it goes. A, you go, it goes. A is running, it is running. The water is there, is there. Not a team that lied to us. Not a team that has been lying to many Kenyans. Not a team that has not been delivering. Not a team that has not been seeing that the governors are not working, as Miriam said. If what the ordinary man-inch of Kenya needs at the moment is to see water, a good road, good food, good transport facilities, and recreational services brought to the people. Part of the problem why people are getting difficulties today, Medium, is recreational services. People don't have anywhere, nowhere to go. They don't have anywhere to go. Forget about the pandemic, even before the pandemic. Kenyans could be glued in their houses. But when we used to grow up, we used to have recreational center. I don't know whether we're Songa, you know, every county had a center, a county center for social services.
Yes, very true.
When I used to grow, there was a company that used to bring cinema. Once in a month, on 22nd of every month, Medium, there was a cinema brought at in the 60s at our county. And I remember my father used to pull these ones because I used to sneak. I used to go, and my father said that the cinema ends it only works between 8 and 9 at night. No, between 7 and 9. So when people live there, there is a lot of crime. There used to be rape or people beating people or fighting on the road. So we formed a gang in our village that we go with to the cinema. There used to be a cinema hall, a social center, where you can find people can play mweso. I don't know where Songa knows what mweso is. I think all of us. This mweso, there were no cards by then. They brought this poker, not poker, there is this drafts. They play where you play drafts. You sit, people use recreation. After you have dug in your family, in your farm, you wash your feet, you have come with your 2 cassava, your wife is cooking. Instead of going to drink changa or alcohol or busa, you would go to the center and sit down. And there was a social worker. These are the amenities that were supposed to be brought back by Chelugui. But Chelugui destroyed them instead. The money that was given to them to create social centers where elderly can go and sit, where the elderly over 60 can go and sit and chat about the future, the past, the past, the history, on how they used to fight in the war. Those things are missing. That's an obstacle. Partial. One of the obstacles of the legacy is partially to change. Is to change ministries, to reshuffle partially could cause a problem. An overhaul reshuffle that can see ministers capable. Remember, next month, which is beginning tomorrow, we have a very, very terrible indictment on the question of the border maritime, which we need real serious foreign policy. We have quite a lot of other challenges. We need to give an international obligation. We need several things, the Commonwealth. There are so many things that are needed that Kenya is involved in. And that is, we need to make sure that we sell our goods. The legacy is not simply infrastructure. The legacy encompasses all. But there are obstacles of corruption, obstacles of a judiciary not delivering, obstacles of blocking. One of the obstacles, the judiciary blocking the president in making good decisions for the ordinary one inch. That's a subject, Miriam, that you could look at next week. Why is the judiciary bent to finish, to destroy the legacy, yet the legacy works well? For example, now, the president has directed that 33% of the power must be implemented by the end of is it month? Mm-hmm. Or by the end of December? By December. Mm-hmm. I think he directed that. Someone is going to go to court and stop and seek a petition. People have found the lifeline in the courts. It's a very sorry state, Miriam, and that is my submission. I want to thank all of you. And last word for each of you. And a parting shot in a half a minute. Besonga.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Masanga, and I hope I think we've had a very, very robust discussion in regards to the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta, something that we shall continue even heading into the future, because I believe we still have so many pending projects which are actually strongly coming up in various parts of the country, from central Kenya, Nyanza, western, and all the way to the coastal part, not forgetting also the arid and semi-arid lands in Turkana, in Samburu, and all those other northern corridor counties. So I believe these are conversations that we're going to continue having into the future. But as it is, as per our benchmark of the discussion today, the president is doing quite well in terms of the legacy. It is an A plus for President Uhuru Kenyatta, and we hope even for the pending projects, once they are completed, Kenyans are going to experience the prosperity and the good life that accompanies such projects. All I have to do is to wish the president all the best, and also rally Kenyans and leaders, especially those who are supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta, to keep pushing and keep offering the much needed support so that he's able to accomplish and realize this golden Kenyan dream for the people of Kenya. I submit.
Itonga. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Matanga and Daniel and Miriam for this extensive conversation. And I believe this is something that we should keep having. We need to keep tabs of the developments, and so that we are also able to look at what the president has able to achieve, even where his legacy is concerned. To my parting shot, I would love to say that we should all endeavor to preach the gospel of peace and stability, not just now, during and after the period of election. Another thing is that it is a collective responsibility of each and every citizen to ensure that Kenya remains a united nation. We can rally behind the president and accord him the necessary support, even as he finishes his race. And other thing I can say is that this motherland, I have no doubt, it is headed to greater heights, and united we stand, divided we fall. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. United you stand, divided you collapse, fall, break, and break. Isn't it? Miriam, your last take. Today, let me conclude it from this side. Your last take, surely.
All right, Doctor, when we started talking about the legacy a couple of years ago, and we were looking at these very important agendas that President Uhuru Kenyatta had laid out to transform the lives of Kenyans, and I think the way President Uhuru Kenyatta has been operating and the way he's been doing his things, it's not necessarily for him to even get the praise. He's so concerned from the attitude he's been showing and the commitment to this transformative agenda for Kenyans. His main concern is to make sure he leaves Kenyans much better than he found them when he was first elected as the president. And I think at this point, perhaps the only regret that President Uhuru Kenyatta might be having is he wishes he would have started much earlier, because we know the first term, with the coalition that he had with the DP, and President Uhuru Kenyatta himself has come out and said they did not achieve much then as compared to what he's been doing in his second term. So I think we were worried, and we thought maybe this Big Four agenda is quite ambitious, and will he be able to complete and see if these things will come to fruition? But his commitment and his to deliver service to Kenyans, I think, is quite apparent, and he might not achieve 100%, but from what we see and what he's been able to achieve so far, I think he's well off to a good start. And I think even a lot of Kenyans are surprised. So it is a good thing. And we've seen the things that he chooses to do, like opening the hospitals, like NMS drilling. You can see that the purpose of NMS was to transform the lives of Nairobians. And you've seen how that has worked out. Garbage is being picked when early in the morning when I'm coming to work. You'll see those the trucks even in the CPD. At around 6 a.m. they're already there picking, the trash, even around the states. I've seen that myself. So it's all about service delivery, and that is what President Uhuru Kenyatta is interested. And I think this will go a long way, and Kenyans will truly remember him as a president that was concerned and championed for causes that affected their lives. Right now, our women, our mothers, are going to the hospitals, having their babies, and going home without paying a single cent. That is something that has helped so many people, and that has gone a long way in reducing the maternal health that we were losing a lot of mothers and children, because so many of these mothers, especially from disadvantaged backgrounds, could not afford to go to hospitals and have a safe delivery. So these are things that touch the lives of the kawaida person, as if I may use that word of in Kiswahili. So Kenyans, I think, they appreciate, even for those who don't support President Uhuru Kenyatta, they tell you, lakini he's working, because we see what he's doing, and that is what matters to Kenyans. And a lot of them don't care who is doing it as long as it is being done, and we appreciate that.
Oh, thank you very much. It's my turn to say, and I will say one word. I wish we had more time for President Uhuru Kenyatta to extend his tenure of office. Because we were beginning to see the real matunda ya Uhuru. Honestly, Miriam, you have summed it very well. Time, and all of you have summed it very well. Gitonga, Wesonga said it. Miriam, you have summarized by saying, I wish this started earlier.
I think that could be his only regret. Yes.
Yes. Had it not been the guy, who had disrupted us, who took us to different directions, then turned around and said, the bus has collapsed. We don't know who was driving it. I hope one day. But when Raila goes through, not whoever now, when Raila goes through, let him begin from where President Uhuru Kenyatta ended. And that thing is being seen now. I am seeing the 2002 type of politics, because I was there in Nairobi, Miriam. I saw how people were bringing themselves together, how Moi came to London. I went to Hilton Hotel to meet Moi. Among the people who met Moi, I met Girongo. Girongo called me because Girongo used to be my friend. We met Moi, and people convinced, the British government convinced Moi to allow this to go on. I'm seeing that cobbling of a new dispensation where people will say Raila Tosha. And I can see it. This country does not need a man who is constantly mad, constantly derailed. Statements that come out are hot politics of the university. The country needs a conserved type of approach to understand the difficulties that Africa is going through now. And I believe that man, Raila Amolo Odinga, fits the docket. Wesonga, as a KANU member, what do you think your president of KANU is going to do today?
Yes, I think the fact that he has actually also invited the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, among other One Kenya Alliance principles, and to me, I believe they have the best chance when they all rally behind Raila Odinga, because he's the one who is actually closest to President Uhuru Kenyatta, taking over the legacy. And the president actually yesterday personally hinted at that by telling the people of Kibra he supports Raila Odinga, but it will make much sense if they are to register as voters and cast their votes in the forthcoming elections. So to me, I think for my party leader and his compatriots, they either rally behind Raila Odinga or they decide to be hanged separately. I submit.
To be hanged separately, yeah. That's very strong word, hanging them.
Yes, because Dr. Masanga, I don't think even we as KANU have the numbers across the board to be able to win a presidential election. Neither does Musalia Mudavadi have the numbers, or Kalonzo Musyoka or Moses Wetangula. So the only way that we'll actually form a force to reckon with is by them coming together. And of course, that is by endorsing the first among equals.
Don't hang them, but let's bring them to the fold. Isn't it, Miriam? Let's bring them together. Let's persuade them to say that this is the light.
They'll come back, Doc.
Yes.
They'll come back. What choice do they
have? They can't win alone.
What choice do they have? Tell me.
Thank you very much. That was my view. But what I want to tell you is a strategy that is very well done. The KANU can have its flag bearer, and the KANU can come back again and say, now we are going to work with like-minded parties. So here we are. Our candidate comes in full swing. So their KANU this time has planned like original KANU. So thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much, all of you, Gitonga, those who were here before, Tawish. Thank you very much, Onyari. Thank you, all of you, Daniel, Miriam. Thank you. This station returns at 3 p.m. East African Standard Time with the Diaspora Dispatches. The fuel situation in London has eased. Mm-hmm. The army is on the streets. The army tankers are delivering. Some of the drivers are from the army. So some good things, prices. You know, the supermarkets were even getting dry. So it is exactly 5 minutes past 10 o'clock. Here, I want to go for my meeting at 1:30, and I have another meeting at 3 p.m. So I wish you in central London, I need to start getting my train and have my coffee. Miriam, thank you very much. God bless you until I see you. Gitonga, God bless you. Daniel, God bless you. The rest of the crew behind the punchline, next week we shall revamp. Shall begin with new ideas that I see now that are very new ways of doing television. I have learned a few things. I visited my former office of Sky News. I'm trying to see whether we can be linked directly on some of the African topics. So thank you very much. I will come and share these ideas with you. Otherwise, God bless you. God bless everybody. This station is for Africa, with Africa by Africa channel.
All right.
Thank you.
must be our goal and our guide.